Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wacky Silver Age Comic Show, Episode 2, where I'll be talking about Batman, Volume 1, 147, Bat Baby. This is a crazy issue, and because it's crazy, and because of the fact that it is not in the DC Universe app, I am going to be doing this as a twofold deal, a little experiment where I'm going to be recording the podcast side of it, along with doing a video at the same time. So if you want to see what's going on with the Bat Baby, and follow along with me going through it and kind of, doing my thing and wanting to see the humor that is the visuals of this, because it really is a visually humorous issue. You can also go over to the Patreon page where there'll be a video of it with the exact same audio of the podcast, but something if you want to try that out. It's something that I just want to see if people like it and see if it's something that we will do occasionally when the issue isn't available, so people can follow along as well. But this is, again, Batman number 147 from May of 1962. It's an issue that's written by Bill Finger, pencils by Sheldon Maldoff, inks by Charles Paris, and letters by Stan Starkman. And when we start out here, you have a cover. It is Batman becomes Batbaby, and you see cute little Bat Baby there. You end up seeing a scientist, looks like a gangster. We're going to find out who they are as we go. And in the very corner there, you end up seeing a machine that looks like a Dalek. That is indeed the machine that turns Batman into the Bat Baby. And there's Robin swinging in with the Bat Baby, being the Boy Wonder, but now the Boy Wonder is the oldest of the two. Kind of throws things out of whack. Now, how we got there, we'll find out, but as these issues back in the day usually had, you have this first page that usually has, and if you listen to the first episode of the Silver Age show, usually have a cover and this first page as what they call the super dickery, where you end up having a hero acting like a jerk. That happens a lot with the Superman Silver Age stuff. Now, this issue actually has a legit scene, kind of plays out kind of like what happens. It changes a little as we go, but this is not a misleading scene. The cover is not misleading. I think that Bat Baby is crazy enough to go forward with it without having any sort of crazy dupe, because if you did see this cover, you're going to get this to see how Batman became a Bat Baby, how he ended up dealing with it, and how he got back to normal. And we get all that. We get all that in the issue, so it's not any sort of false pretense or thing like that. Well, we go and we find out that this all started because Batman and Robin were staking out Nails Finney and his gang, who had just stolen a bunch of gems from the Gotham jewelry store. And no, the Gotham people are not very good with their imaginative names of stores. You probably have the Gotham fruit store, the Gotham, radio store. Everything is just going to be Gotham, whatever it is, store. That's it. That's what you get in Gotham. They're very plain folk. They live a plain and not exciting life until Batman came swinging into town, and I think that's when things started to change. But they end up deciding that they're going to go and bust old Nails Finney. When they go in, you see that his hideout is not quite a warehouse or a store or anything. It looks like a lab, because you end up having a scientist in the back with a machine. And then even on the side, you have a table, looks like maybe the first mobile meth lab. I'm not one to judge, but I think they're making meth. You do have Nails and the gangsters who yell, "Oh no, Batman and Robin." And Batman's like, he's going to survey the situation. Well, looks like part of this gang, Garth, the renegade scientist, quite a crew, eh? He says, and, he's just taking inventory of what's going on. It is odd. You have three gangsters and a scientist. The scientist is dressed up like a evil scientist. He ends up having his machine that looks like a Dalek just there. And if I was Batman or Robin, I don't know that I'd ever get near that machine. I mean, you have a scientist just standing there looking like he is just waiting for you to come over to him so he could hit the switch. And if it's, you don't know what it is, but it can't be good. Unfortunately, Batman does not follow my advice, because as they end up fighting, they end up bashing the gangsters, of course. Robin ends up punching the guy in the gut. Batman, he ain't going for that. He punches this guy. He just activated the one gangster's dental plan. But Garth, the renegade scientist. And I hope he has cards that say that. And it's just funny that he is just known as that. We know nothing else about him, just that he's a renegade scientist. And I know there's a lot of those going around. So it's good that he knows it's also Garth. But Garth hits the switch. A green light comes out of the end of what looks like a funnel, kind of a megahorn, something. I don't know. It ends up coming out and bathing Batman in this green light. And he says, "Oh no, an eerie ray of light bathing me." And I wanted Robin to be on this side. It's about time. I mean, you take a shower once a month, whether you need it or not, right there, Batman? But he ends up getting bathed in this. And as this goes on, Robin comes over and he starts freaking out. He's like, "Oh my God, you are now, starting to shrink. I don't know what's going on." Garth is just, "Oh my, it's working. The process is going to be complete." All right. The gangsters, Nails and his buddies, they don't think this is enough. It's not enough that Batman is becoming a baby. They want to get the heck out of there. They end up throwing smoke bombs. Now, the smoke bombs are supposedly for them to escape. It's obvious that it's just another method to hide Batman until then we can reveal that he's become the Bat Baby. And he is the Bat Baby, and he's so cute with his chubby cheeks. He's such a fat little kid. I think that a young Bruce Wayne did not do a lot. Later on, he'd start exploring. He'd find the Bat Caves, things like that. But when he was like 4, he was a little chubby. And he's just sitting around watching Zorro and stuff. But you end up where Robin's like, "Oh no, Batman, you're a little child." And then Batman's just like, "Oh no, I got to find that machine. It was able to reverse my growth right here and then. They should just be at the machine and just try to reverse it, but they don't, because Robin just says, 'Oh no, this was a trap. You had Nails. He said he was going to avenge himself.' And he did it by hiring Garth to invent a machine that would make you like this." And yes, it's their biggest nightmare. Bat Baby. And to get out of the scene here, you end up having Robin picking up, cradling Batman like a baby, and carrying him out of this hideout. Now, you end up having Batman, and Robin even says, it's almost like, "Hey, I had to take you out like this because if I didn't, your clothes would fall off. Everybody would see you're a naked baby. That's bad enough, but they might see that you're Batman, even though you're a baby." But Batman's just like, "I never thought the day would come when you would be able to carry me out in your arms like a baby." He doesn't say that that's something he didn't want or something that he feared. I think that what it was is this is a dream of his, and he just never thought it would happen. But now all dreams come true. You end up having a picture sent to the Gotham Gazette. The Gotham Gazette gets a picture of Bat Baby. Bat Baby in the Batman outfit that's sagging all around. Really not as bad as you would think. This thing should be just a pile of clothes with Bat Baby's face coming out at the top. But you end up where it's ending up described or explained by the Gotham Gazette editor, who says, and almost so matter-of-factly, according to this letter, Garth had a camera hidden in his machine. Well, why would he know who Garth is? Is he such a renegade scientist that everybody knows who this is? And just the idea that you ended up having Garth send a letter with a picture, and the editor of the Gotham Gazette's like, "Oh, I see that, Garth's weird machine took a picture of Batman when he became the Bat Baby. All right." There's no questions. There's nothing about it that seems odd to the editor of the Gotham Gazette, but he has to print it. This is going on front page, not because it's a sensational, TMZ of the time headline. It's that the public has a right to the truth. And that's how he gets to sleep at night, the editor of the Gotham Gazette, because this is clickbait. It ends up being on the front page. There you see it. Gangland turns Batman into Bat Baby. And it says, criminal scientist uses ray that reverses Batman's growth. He knows a lot about this. I guess Garth really spelled it out in that letter. But there you go. The people of Gotham are reading it, and they're upset. They're like, "Oh my, what's Batman going to do now? This is terrible. Poor Batman. Oh my, he's a baby. He can't fight crime as a baby. His career is finished." And I like that they're more concerned with Batman himself, almost like he was, a football player in his prime. All of a sudden, this is like a awful torn ACL. His career's finished. Poor Batman. Though eventually I would think that they'd be like, poor us. We don't have Batman to take care of things. But, oh well, the Batman is done, and we go off and see reactions. We see the reaction of Nails and Garth, the renegade scientist, and Nails is all excited because this was his plan. Nails is saying, oh my, this is the best. This is the greatest thing ever. Everybody wanted to kill Batman, but I stopped them with your help, Garth. And Garth is just like there, and he's smoking one of those cigarettes with the cigarette holder like the Penguin, like he's some fancy renegade scientist. And he says, hey, instead of making the dead Batman into a martyr, we've made a live Batman into a laughing stock. Ha ha! And he's loving it. You go off to the Wayne Mansion, and now we're going to see what happens. What happens when Batman becomes a baby? And the first thing is he wants breakfast. He can't reach it. You end up having the breakfast table. It's too big for the Bat Baby. So you end up having Alfred go and get him a bunch of telephone books. This is Batman. He's just a laughing stock in his own home. He ends up having to sit on the telephone books, which are huge, to be able to eat, and then says, thanks, Alfred. He's so sad. He's so depressed. He sighs. If only I could get my hands on Garth's machine and reverse its power. And so there is some trouble in Batman land. Well, Batman decides that, you know what, when life gives you lemons, you got to then have a montage and train until you become the Bat Baby. That's what he says. And he goes off and he starts doing the speed bag. He's doing all the training that he did, and really more of the training, it seems very reminiscent of when Robin actually became Robin, when Batman was training Robin. So he's going through the whole deal here like a Jack LaLanne of the day. And he says, oh, you know what, Robin? There's a thing that old Nails and Garth, the renegade scientist, they did not take into account, because I still have my brain. I'm no Bat Baby of the brain. I still have my thoughts. I still have my full mental capacity here. But also, very oddly and very and very convenient, he still has his full strength. He has the strength of a full-size adult Batman. So he is now Pocket Hercules. He is a strong baby. And all he's doing to train then, he's training so he can get used to this new size. He has to get used to this but it's almost like he's a basketball player and he's changing up his shot. He's got to get used to the hand placement. He's got to get used to, he used to have a two-step and now it's just a one-deal shot. He's a 1-2 guy, though, not a hop guy. These are the things that Logan keeps telling me about all the time. But he's training. He trains for maybe 3 minutes and he's ready. Batman is a quick learner. And he goes off to make a bat suit for himself, and we've already seen it on the cover in that first page. It's a bat suit that involves overall shorts that is so old-timey little kid. I'm surprised he doesn't have a big, giant lollipop and a hat and curly hair. But he ends up having that outfit. He looks so cute, though. I mean, really, that's what he's going to do. He's going to get them with his cuteness, but he still has the cape and cowl. Just don't know why he didn't make a full suit. He could have had a full bat suit. He just needed to make it a little. I don't know where he got these kids' clothes. I have no idea. But he's there. He's Bat Baby. And he says, I'm going to keep fighting crime as Bat Baby. The hell with them. They made me Bat Baby. They're going to go down with Bat Baby. So they go off. And as the unique team of Bat Baby and Robin, they patrol the streets. And you end up having a lady yelling, oh no, these bandits. They got away. They're going up the fire escape. They're heading to the roof. And you have Batman and Bat Baby, or Bat Baby and Robin, come in and like, all right, we're going to get there. They start running. Bat Baby is now going to realize there are some limits to being Bat Baby. One of them is he can't go up no ladders. The ladders are too big. They're not for a Bat Baby. So what he does, because he still has his mind, he ends up jumping off this window, this ledge, grabs on, which we saw in this first panel of this issue, grabs onto the giant helium balloon tire. That's the advertisement for the Acme Tire Company. I'm surprised it's not the Gotham Tire Store. He ends up grabbing that, and it ends up floating him up, quite like on Howard Stern, that everybody wanted to get Eric the actor with the balloons and have him lift off. Well, that didn't happen, but it works for Bat Baby. And so he goes up, and he ends up on the roof. Now, these gangsters, they're bad guys, but they're not going to shoot a baby. So instead, they decide to shoot the balloons so that Bat Baby will fall to his death, and then, it's gravity's fault. They didn't do anything. Well, that's where Batman realizes, you know what, as Bat Baby, there's some advantages. First off, I can grab onto a balloon and go to the roof. That's better than taking the stairs any day. And then he jumps off this balloon, and then he goes and grabs onto these metal wires that are there, and they don't snap because he's Bat Baby. He is a little tiny baby. He swings around. Now, the whole idea of he doesn't have the same weight and mass that allows him to be spry, allows him to swing around these wires, it kind of gets taken aside in the next deal where he flings and pretty much does a spear that would make Edge envious and ends up knocking down 3 gangsters. Now, he only has the weight and mass. He has the strength of a man, but only the weight and mass of a baby. We just saw, but he can still knock down these gangsters because he speared them like Edge. And as this goes, their guns fall out of their hands. They're all in a heap. And Robin comes up and he's like, oh man, what's going on? Oh man, Bat Baby, you knocked them out of the air. And then the fight is all out of them. All right. Well, somebody got a hold of the newspapers, including the Gotham Gazette, and we saw that editor. He's going to print anything. Bat Baby overcomes Size and Crooks, he wrote, as their new headline. And then they also have the City News, it looks. That it might be the Gotham City News, but it just looks like the City News. Bat Baby does okay for a kid. Well, we now see that the City News, they don't really like the Batman as much, because Bat Baby does okay for a kid. Bat Baby did okay for anyone. Ended up taking down 3 gangsters. So I really think the City News is throwing some backdoor shade at the Bat Baby. Well, now that we see that Bat Baby can take care of his own, and in fact, it's a shame that this only lasted this issue and didn't go on forever, that right now we could have had Tom King Bat Baby, but I think Tom King would have been a little bit, he would have been confused because he always likes to kill the kids to set things up, but the kid's the Batman. But you end up where you need some other things to happen to fill out this story. You have to have some more conflict. And what you do have is Kathy Kane coming by at this point to smooch it up with Bruce, it seems. And you see that Alfred sees Kathy King coming down the path, and they don't know what to do. And now we're going to start the Bat God. This is Bat Baby, but we're going to see a Bat God because this is the idea. And I think that people forget just the idea of what Batman Prepares for Everything really used to be. Because when you ended up having a Tom King come into Batman and everybody say, well, I don't like the Bat God that Scott Snyder was writing in the New 52, that prepared for everything nonsense, and how could a guy do that, whatever. That's nothing compared to this issue. If you want to know where the phrase, Batman prepares for everything, I don't think it ever was a compliment. I think it was man, this is nonsense because everything's explained away that Batman prepared for it. Because, boy, in this issue, you can't prepare for more because Kathy King comes in and Bat Baby and Robin have set up kind of a little bit of a dupe, a little bit of a trick, where you have Alfred answer the door. Oh, right this way, Miss Kathy. Should be Miss Kane. I mean, really proper Alfred. He should know better. But he says, oh, Bruce, he's in the library. You know the way. And as she walks down the hall, you see a silhouette coming from the library that is looking like Bruce, smooching it up with a starlet. Now, Kathy is there for enough, in my mind, to see that there is no movement going on here. And yeah, you can't tell that from a panel of a comic, but there is no movement going on here because Kathy then turns and says, that Playboy, that kissing bug, I'll never set foot in this house again. So you end up with the idea that no Bat Baby, and the real reason for this would be that Bat Baby is out and about. It's in the paper. So all of a sudden having a Bruce Wayne as a baby, you're going to be able to make the connection. This is what they want to avoid, though they don't really spell that out very well in the issue, but that's how you have to go. And then to just explain how Bruce became a baby's nonsense. In my mind, you could have done the sitcom deal where she comes in and like, oh, well, Bruce isn't here, but his nephew, Brucey Boy is here. You can go talk to him, something like that. But instead they use this silhouette cutout because we see then that is just a cardboard cutout where Robin says, good thing that you had that cardboard cutout prepared in advance. And that makes no sense. Why would he have this? This is the Batman who prepares for anything. And then he was preparing to be in Home Alone.
You guys give up? Oh, yeah, thirsty for more.
Because that's all that is. It's Home Alone. Now, that's funny enough. The best part is Bruce's explanation, Bat Baby's explanation about why this won't be a problem later. Because he says she's so angry, she'll stay away from here for quite a while. Okay, that's what you want. You need some space. You need some time to get yourself back from being Bat Baby. Says, though, to make things right, when I'm adult size again, I'll explain that the girl she saw was a cousin. So basically, he's there. All right, I'm just going to say that I was kissing my cousin, and away we go. And that's fine because it was Kathy Kane, so, they're used to doing stuff like that. Robin's a Debbie Downer and says, you ain't ever going to get better. You ain't going to be big. Garth, Nails, they're heading out of the country. They're going to leave. That's where Bat Baby Bruce, he's got the noggin on him, says, no. They're going to want to sell those gems first. So that means they'll have to go through a fence. And all of the GCPD are looking after all the fences. But let's go talk to Commissioner Gordon about that. And they go and talk to them as Bat Baby and Robin. And Commissioner Gordon, I give him full credit. He's not snickering. He's not laughing at the Bat Babies. He sees and he says, we got a tip that, Swap Smith, that guy, the bad guy, Swap Smith, the fence. He's been getting all this money together. Batman figures, okay. That means he's going to be the one who's going to get the gems. We just have to wait. And how we're going to wait is I'm going to stake them out because you're going to end up having Nails and Garth. They're going to be on the lookout for all this trouble, all these things. And it's funny, too, because it's really just spelling out Garth, the renegade scientist now, not Nails, but Nails is going to be the one who's going to go and try to get this fence. But he's like, Garth would be on the lookout for plainclothes cops, even Bat Baby, but not a little kid. Not a little kid on a swing. And I like this one kid with a crown is coming up to Bat Baby Bruce. He's just as Bruce here. Coming up like he's going to ask him to play baseball. And I think Bruce is going to kick him on that swing. But we do end up seeing that year there where old Swap Smith is in a hurry and he's running away with all his money. You have Bat Baby Bruce say, oh, no. And really the big thing that he cannot combat as this little baby is people with long legs. And he says, oh no, Swap Smith, he's got long legs. I'm not going to be able to keep up with him. Here we go with the preparedness of a Batman who, just in case he had such an emergency, he had hidden baby-sized roller skates in the park. So at some point, Batman sat there and said, if for some reason I end up becoming a baby because somebody hits me with a baby ray, I become Bat Baby, then have to stake out a pawn shop in this exact location of this park, I better bury a pair of roller skates that, say, a 4-year-old would fit in so that when the fence goes with his long legs and tries to get away, I can put on the skates and keep up with him. Now that is a Bat God. That is a Bat God if I ever heard one. That is preparing for everything. So he does. He uses the roller skates. They go. They find what kind of looks like it might be the same hideout, but maybe a little different. But Bat Baby and Robin come swinging through the skylight. They attack Garth, the renegade scientist, and the Swap Smith and Nails. They end up going in and fighting, and they see the machine. Well, they're fighting, and all these gangsters, there's more gangsters here than there were before. They're all running up the stairs. They're going to attack. They need to clear some space. They need to set something up so that Bat Baby can use the machine. Now, as they do this, Bat Baby gets on a rocking horse and ends up going down the stairs on the rocking horse and knocks all the gangsters over. And so that they can be detained anymore, Robin grabs a giant stand-up harp and knocks one of the guys over with it. So you end up having that. Now, you then also have Robin knock down a giant bookcase. The books fall on the gangsters, And, they don't like to read. So this is like their kryptonite. Oh, no, books. That ends up detaining them, which then allows off-panel Batman to change back into regular Batman, even though we saw him go down the stairs and you could see behind him on the top, the thing was the machine next to the wall. Now it's just in the middle of the room. You do see behind him the Bat Baby outfit. And luckily, again, in a way that only Batman can prepare, he had a plastic costume folded up in his pants pocket. So as he turned into or from the Bat Baby, he used this. Now, in the meantime, if we really want to look into this, you ended up having already spelled out that when the machine is used, it takes photos. So I have a very big feeling that there is a photo of a Bruce Wayne getting into this plastic bat suit, but that won't be a thing. And you end up having the adult-sized Batman and Robin pretty much take care of the gangsters by walloping them, having some fun, beating the crap out of gangsters, and then end in the Batcave's famed trophy room that has a new addition, and it is the Bat Baby costume. And boy, why isn't somebody having this in the Batcave? If you would end up having this, somebody just in a corner having that, where you see Jason Todd's costume, you Dick Grayson, you have all these things, and then you see the Bat Baby, that would be so, so great. Batman says it's there as a trophy and a reminder of a brief childhood. And then we have the end, and that is the end of the issue. And boy, it is a fun issue. It is completely ridiculous. It's over the top ridiculous, really. But it's a lot of fun. It's Silver Age nonsense, as this podcast is supposed to be about. And remember, again, I'm doing this as a podcast and a video. If you want to watch the video, you just go over to the Patreon page and it'll be there so you can look at all the nonsense as it plays out. But you can also listen to just the podcast if that's your thing. But I wanted to give you the option to see that. And I'd really like to know if when I put these up separately, please let me know if you like that going on, if you like to see what's going on while I talk about it and things like that, because it's not that hard for me to do and it's kind of fun doing it as well. And I like doing that. So just let me know. But thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening to this. Thanks for enjoying this Silver Age nonsense with me. This is one of my favorite podcasts to do now after only 2 issues. I really enjoy it. And I even really enjoyed trying to figure out what's going to be next. But always, if you have any suggestions, please let me know. And I want to do some Marvel stuff. I don't want this just to be DC. The problem is Marvel ended up coming into their own in the Silver Age, and it was not as wacky for the most part as the DC stuff. The DC stuff, each main character, Flash, Batman, right? They all have some goofy stuff, and it ends up being hard to find a lot of goofiness in the Marvel. The one thing that'll probably be the next one will be a Fantastic Four issue, and it's a Fantastic Four issue where the Thing and the Human Torch end up meeting the Beatles, which is funny. It's just not as goofy as some of the DC stuff. So if you're more learned in that stuff and you know of some really wacky Marvel issues, let me know, because I want to mix them in as well. But I hope that anybody, even if you're not a DC fan per se, you can enjoy Bat Baby. You can have fun with the Bat Baby. So thanks, everybody, for your support. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to be having a lot of episodes dropping in the next couple of days, so I hope you like them. A lot of them at this $10 and above level that we have for this. So I hope you continue to enjoy all this stuff, and I will talk to you later.